Hello, my dear friend and shining being. Welcome back to Star Matrix, Unit 6. I am Silvia Hartmann, the creator of modern energy, and I am grinning from ear to ear because we have a really wonderful topic that has brought me much joy over the last, I should say 50 years of my life at least. And just before we get started on the topic of the day and the power of positive, there, let me just do a little roundup here in case anybody stumbles upon this from the wilds of the internet and they haven't seen the other 5 parts. So I am the energy guy. I am the person who is here to speak up for the dear neglected human energy body that everybody's walking around pretending they don't have one. Or if they go to yoga classes or something, they come away with a very strange idea of how a living, active, flowing energy body is really performing in their daily lives. And what we do is we use positives to make our energy body stronger, which is a wonderful thing because a stronger energy body that leads to much success. So we have defined the positives as something that makes you feel better inside, that makes you feel stronger and more powerful. So they are not a prescription, but they are something that makes you personally happier. And to discover your own personal power positives is extremely empowering and can help you in all sorts of moments of emotional distress. Hello and good morning to all my dear viewers from space and time, wherever you may roam. So, the other thing that we did in the beginning parts of Power of the Positives was to say, okay, the biggest power in the universe is love. And this love is made up of these many facets, little mirrors, there are these positives. And all together, all the positives together, they make up this enormous energy form that is actually called love. And in the future, there may be a holographic model of a much better looking Sylvia in some kind of CGI produced version of the power of the positives. And as she holds up the mirror ball, it miraculously turns sparkling holographic ruby red, because today we're going to be considering the sexual aspects of love. And so I've made myself a lovely little red, sparkly, ruby red, loving, sexy mirror ball here that is going to help me with my program here today and how we can consider the power inherent in sexuality, in sexiness, in sexy energy. And before anybody starts to cry and weep and say that, oh, sex is not for me, it's just horrible and nasty, it's not a positive for me, and I want nothing to do with this, I would say, first of all, take a deep breath. And let us remember that I am the energy guy. So I'm only talking about energy. Just talking about energy. And really, the big deal with energy is absolutely we want to be loved. The big deal with energy is that it is for the energy body. That's it. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything at all. When we work with positives and with energy, then when, for example, we use, let's say, the energy of gold, and we raise that energy and we think about gold and the shiny, sparkly nature of gold. It's beautiful. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden a giant gold brick is going to fall on your head. And likewise, when we start thinking about sexy energy, sexy energy, sparkling, enlivening, sexy energy. That does not mean we're going to run out and start having physical sex. Not at all. The two are actually, quite separate from one another. But the fact is that sexy energy, or sexual energy, if you will, is the most powerful backbone for our entire energy body. And I call that the first circuitry. Now, I always talk about how our energy system isn't these chakras stacked on each other with the dirty one down there, or these little needly points, or these thin, tiny little lines. It's a huge column of energy that's at least as wide as our whole body, but even wider than that. And that's the first circuitry. The first circuitry is life. It's all about life. And it is sexual in nature. It's extremely powerful, extremely powerful. And to take out, like, I don't know, blockages and reversals that impede this powerful flow of first circuitry energy is one of the healthiest and most wonderful thing any human being can do. Because all of that does is raise your energy. And when you are energy higher, then you can be a much more spiritual person, you can be a much more powerful person, and it has everything to do with the baseline of your physical health as well, how well your immune system can function, everything. Everything hangs on this first circuitry. Now, in the middle of this first circuitry, there we have, smack in the middle, the heart of energy. And when the heart of energy is broken or disturbed or cross-wired for some reason because of an old injury, sexual abuse, for example, that's the perfect one for that, then this powerful first circuitry energy can't flow as it should, both coming down and coming up at the same time. This is a dual flow, an energy flow. But we can invite this energy flow by starting to realize that we are really sexual beings, and that using that sexiness, that sexual energy, that immediate ooh la la, that sexual energy will give us. And that is just so predictable and wonderful and simple. Yeah, then we can unlock the power of the sexual positives, which is a truly wonderful thing. And if you get scared, if you get reversed, if you get freaked out, then say out aloud with me, it's only energy we're dealing with here. And all of modern energy is about making the energy body happier, healthier, stronger, more powerful, more resilient. And that is what in the end transforms our life. So let us also please remember that when I said a positive, that's a positive to you. So whatever it is that turns you on, that floats your boat, that rings your bells, that is unconditionally what is a positive to your unique energy system. And that's really important to understand, that there isn't this one type of thing that you're supposed to be attracted by, and if you're not, there's something wrong with you. We all have our different likes and things that we find sexy. And when I say that word, sexy, I would really like you to know I'm talking about your sexy, your own personal sexy, your own personal, ooh, I like that. I love that. I want that. It is sexy. And I would like to use this sexy energy in order to liven up all the other positives that we have been working with already and so far. The fact is that, we can look at a crystal or a sunset and it's really beautiful and it's very safe. It's obviously quite non-sexual and it's very stimulating to our energy system. But if we bring into it that sexual thing, that sexy thing, that's when our circuitry starts to light up. That's where our metaphorical ears prick up and our tails start to wag. And we think, oh, this is interesting. I'm drawn to that. This is something I want to know more about. This is something I want to engage with. Because the other fact is nothing, but nothing drives human behavior as being sexy and having a sexy goal, if you will. God, wars and battles have been started over the favors of a lady, and all sorts of weird and wonderful conspiracies have come into being because of that. The advertising people know this. They try to make their products sexy in some way, even if they never use the word. But sexy is only an energy. So let's just try that out just for a little interesting experience. First of all, I'd like you to think of something sexy that you think is sexy. And when I mean that, by mean sexy, I mean you can feel that in your body. You can actually feel a smile coming to your face. You can feel that your fingertips are tingling. They want to touch something. You can feel the rest of your body sort of warming up in certain places. Other places might start to draw their attention, that they are also now activating. Your body is starting to come to life. You might be flushing slightly. And that is exactly right. You are now getting into a sexy frame of mind. And now we can start to think about some things that are sexy in a whole new way. So, for example, can health be sexy? Now, when we think of health, what do we think of? We think of medicines and pills and potions and eating our greens possibly and vitamin B and all this and hard work, of course, painful hard work at your health. So you have to run 50 miles every day and all that. So health, is hard work. But how about if health was sexy? Sexy health. Ooh, can you feel that, sense that tingling? Now it's becoming more interesting. It's becoming, instead of a chore or something that you're afraid of or that's causing stress, it's a different forward movement as you're becoming interested in it. Health, sexy health. And your thinking changes as well at the same time. There's questions now. Sexy health? What could that be? How could that be? Sexy health. Ooh, interesting. Is there sexy food to eat? A lot of people just eat food and they're having some kind of mad sexy thing going on there in the background because they're eating food instead of having sex or something, or having all sorts of other reversals, anorexia as well. And so might we consider the thought of sexy food, food that is tasty and actually sexy in that sparkling, stimulating, bringing your body back to life kind of way? Interesting. I knew a man who decided on his stock market investments, and he used to say, I can feel it when it's sexy. And I like that. Clearly, his energy system was waking up, and there was a strong physical response throughout his body, and that was a way in which his intuition was guiding him to the right investment. He wasn't looking for a safe investment or a reasonable return on his investment. He was looking for a sexy investment. Ooh, sexy opportunities. It's only energy. Doesn't mean you have to run around in the street and tear off your clothes and have sex all day long in the most wonderful way. It's only energy. What are your favorite positives? Gold. Can gold be sexy? Sexy gold. Ooh, when I see a piece of gold, it makes me tingle inside. It reminds me of the suns from which it was born. And can sunshine be sexy? Touching our skin, flowing right through our bodies, some of the particles. Sexy sunshine. Ooh. I'm wibbling here on my chair because I'm just having fun. See, and that's another thing. Having fun playing with this. Where health can be so dour and miserable, you add that sexy component to it, sexy health. All of a sudden, ooh, interesting. See, and here we have the attention to love principle, which is really quite important in the greater scheme of things. The first thing that anything needs, it needs to attract our attention. In order for us to point ourselves in that direction, not just look at it, but focus all the senses in that direction. It's caught our attention. And that's that first energy connection through which information and energy from that thing to us streams into us. And as this energy connection is happening, that starts to feel good. We're getting more energy coming in. And from just the attention, all of a sudden, now this is becoming interesting. Now interesting, we're paying more attention, letting the world collapse a bit more and focus harder in on it. And so that then unlocks more energy flow. Now it feels even better. And then there comes this magical point where interest turns to fascination. And then it becomes even more magical if we improve that and keep that going, because then we fall in love. And it is when we fall in love that the connection is perfect and the most amount of energy and information can flow between us and that which we have been fascinated by. When we add that sexy dimension to our meditations on crystals, and we look at our crystal and we think how nice it is and how pretty it is and all the rest of it and glorious thing, lovely energy, and then actually deliberately move into that and said, you're a very sexy crystal. And that smile comes, and that uplifting comes, and that joy comes, and that fun comes into that crystal meditation. All of a sudden, we're in a totally different position. And there may be that moment, if we can really keep that going and not let ourselves be put down, that we can actually fall in love properly with the crystal. And in case we have people there who are just terrified again that falling in love will bind you to the object forever, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. This is the beautiful thing. This whole obsession thing, getting stuck on something, trying to keep it, trying to bind it, trying to destroy it so nobody else can have it, all of that are low energy states. Real, proper love, sexy love, complete love, is an outward flowing energy that just falls upon something else like rain, if you will. And it never binds you. In fact, it frees you. The more you can love, the more freedom you can experience. And a lot of people love freedom, especially right now, as a positive. But just let's consider for fun, sexy freedom. Sexy freedom. How does that feel? Does that scare you? Do you feel a reversal in your body? Don't worry, it's only energy. You don't need to be afraid anymore. Sexy freedom. Get your brain working, get your energy system working, get your intelligence working, your creativity. What could sexy freedom be for you? Awesome. I mean, one of my thoughts was just now sexy freedom could mean that I can talk about sex and be sexual and play with sexual energy, even though I am old. I have a lot of experience with sexual energy of one kind and another. And in fact, the older I'm getting, the more of this experience I have, the more different energy states I have experienced, and the more I actually appreciate the beautiful, sexy aspect of things and the way it makes my body feel. And that's also really quite beautiful. I feel we should have more sparkling old people out there who are interesting, who are fascinating, who are attractive. And people wonder why. I mean, he's old and he doesn't look like a movie star and he's walking with a limp. Why am I interested in talking to that person? Well, may it just be that they have them sparkling, sexy energy in their energy body, in their energy system. And when we connect with that, we get that little tingle and we start smiling and we start flirting and we start forgetting how old we are or whatever is wrong with us. And we actually start interacting more like our true selves, the people we were actually born to be, who are light, who are powerful, who know how to have fun, and who are, above all else, very, very sexy and attractive. So, yes, that's really the heart and core, the heart and soul, the heart and soul of what I wanted to share with you today, to add that sexy dimension to whatever else it is that you do and whatever else it is that you're looking for, to allow your body to come to life with that sparkling, fizzing, physical sensation that puts a smile on our faces, that makes us be glad to be alive, that never ever gets old and actually gets better and better with practice. It's a most delicious, sparkling, and wonderful thing. And like our friend, the stockbroker, we might use this to make decisions on a different level. Let's say we're buying a new chair for our home. Is it practical? Is it cheap? Does it look good so the neighbors will like it? Or can we perhaps find a really sexy chair? A sexy chair that when we dust it, it's sexy. When we look at it, it's sexy. And when we sit on it, oh boy, it's a sexy chair. That's a wonderful, wonderful way to brighten up your world, to really do something marvelous for your energy system. And over time, it will help repair old damages in the first circuitry, take out old blockages, and that phrase of young at heart. Young at heart. Yeah, I don't think you can be young at heart unless you have an understanding and an appreciation and an ability to access and enjoy that sexy energy, that life force energy in its most beautiful, innocent, clean, and powerful expression that is such a blessing to us all. I hope you have enjoyed The Power of the Positives Part 6, Part 6, as the case may be, and really play with that sexy energy, to put that into situations, to cook a meal that's not just tasty or good or nutritious, but that is sexy, a sexy meal. What else does it need to add that extra fairy dust, that sparkle, that life energy into the mix of whatever it is that you're doing. I wish you a most wonderful day. I wish you most wonderful aliveness starting to bubble up inside of you and find its own natural, perfect expression in all you think and say and do. And let's be much more sexy. With lots of love. And I'll see you next week for part 7. Bye for now.